Hello, Facebook. Bethany Perry coming to you from, I believe, my personal page. Oh my God, I don't even know where I'm coming from, but it's me. I'm here and I am so excited to connect with you. A fun day talking about miracles and how to be prepared for miracles. So, I'm super excited to share this concept with you guys. And if this is your first time watching me, catching me live, I would love if you would say hello. Even if you're on the replay, say hello in the comments so I can officially welcome you to my Facebook world. And if you're here on the replay or if you watch me often, I would hope you would say hello. Agnieszka's here and you said hello. Mwah! Hello, gorgeous woman. So, what's on my heart to share today is around the concept of, are you ready for miracles? Are you even available for miracles? What can we do to allow more miracles into our life and into our world? You know, there's this concept that I think so many of us get stuck in around, oh, well, so and so's lucky. Or, well, it's nice it happened for them, but we like somehow don't think it can happen for us. Another common thing around this is that, well, we can't do anything to make it happen. If it's a miracle, then it's just a miracle. And there's no way of explaining it or understanding it. And I actually want to challenge you with so much love because I get it. I have felt and thought every single thing I just shared. But I want to lovingly challenge you to connect with the side of what you can do. How can you be prepared for miracles? How can you be available for a miracle in your life? Whatever that might be. And Adam, yay, nice to see you. And Paul is here. Michelle, Monica, hello everyone. Thank you guys for saying hi. And if at any point something I'm sharing feels, if you're like, oh, so-and-so could really use this message today, I would so appreciate if you would tag them or share it to your personal timeline. But again, that's just if it feels good for you. It feels really good for me to show up and share this tonight. And here's why. Because a lot of you know I'm in a live stream challenge right now where I'm holding myself accountable to show up live every day for 365 days. And I showed up yesterday. My live stream was basically me hiding behind a book. And I did it in my personal group. And I was like, I'm here, but I need to catch my breath. I need a rest. And as things would go, literally, I came up with one of my coaches today. And we were talking about the difference between, or the topic was the difference between a rest and a break. The difference between catching your breath versus quitting. The difference between taking a step off to the side. Like if you've ever been like running a race, if you imagine, even if you haven't, you can imagine if you were running a road race and you're like, here's the finish line I'm going for. Here's the goal I have. Here's the life I desire. Here's the dream I have. And you imagine there's a difference between being in that race and like needing to like, okay, I got to pause. I got to catch my breath. That's taking a rest versus quitting, where you walk off the racetrack, where you walk off the road, which I guess races probably aren't happening in droves of people right now, hopefully. But the point being that you can, in your body, it's different when you're catching your breath and when you're quitting. And one of the most important concepts of how can you attract miracles into your life, how can you be ready for a miracle, how can you be a magnet for miracles, is first of all that you're in the race. It's okay if you're bent over huffing and puffing, you're still in the race. And if you think Hollywood does an amazing job at this, if you think about any movie that you've ever seen where you're like, how the heck did that person keep going? What in the world? Like it's a miracle that this happened for them. The end of the movie is a miracle. What I want you to focus on is not just the end of the story, but it's on the whole story. whatever movie is coming into your brain. Before I came on live, I was like, I should use a specific example. And then I was like, no, I'd be robbing people of their own most valuable inspiration, because you know a movie like this. You know a hero or a heroine like this that you relate to. And so I encourage you to tap into that and really feel into the end of the movie. Took what, 3 minutes, maybe 10? And it seemed like a miracle. But the miracle happened the whole movie. We relate to the ending. We think people are lucky when we see the end result. We think it's a miracle when we look at the finished product, when we see someone cross the finish line. But what I feel like is so important as a reminder, and I'm so fired up about today, is that the finish line getting to the finish line happens one step at a time. It doesn't matter if you come in first or if you come in last. It doesn't matter if you come in ahead of someone or behind someone. If you decide that you want to cross that finish line, it will feel like a miracle crossing that finish line. And at some point, something outside of yourself is going to kick in. There are going to be mentors that show up. There are going to be friends and allies that cheer you on, that are next level, that you wouldn't even imagine, that you wouldn't have even noticed if you wouldn't have been in the race, if you wouldn't have been going for the finish line. And so, when you think about, are you ready for a miracle? It's not. Miracles don't happen at the finish line. Miraculous endings or ends of chapters happen when you stay in the race. So in order to be available for a miracle, you have to stay in the race. So back to that question of what is the movie? What is the film or the character? And feel free to pop them in the comments if you have something top of mind. Again, I'm choosing to keep it vague in this live stream on purpose, because I don't want to steal. I don't want to point you in a certain direction. I want you to embrace the hero or the heroine that you feel drawn to. What were all the challenges that they overcame? How many times could they have quit, but they kept going? Miracles happen when we have done everything we knew how to do and more. We have gotten so resourceful. We start, yay, I'm going to run this race. Yay, I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to do this thing. And it feels exciting. And maybe there's butterflies and they might be a little uncomfortable, but they're like a good uncomfortable. And then we get thirsty or we get a cramp as we're going along, and it might be easier to quit, but what is it that keeps you going? Is it your integrity? Is it that you gave your word to someone? Is it that the finish line matters to you more than being right? One of my mentors talks about, actually a number of my mentors, this is from everyone from Tony Robbins, the mentors in the personal development world, talk about the concept of, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Do you want to win or do you want to be right? There's a sense of helplessness and hopelessness that we all hit at certain points in our journey. And those of you that have been following me for a while, you have seen behind the scenes, I'm very transparent about sharing my ups and downs and navigating those moments. But it's not about being perfect. You think about whatever Hollywood movie might come into mind, at some point the person, they're dirty, they are beaten up. You're how are you even physically, mentally, emotionally even still in this character? How are you in this game? How are you? What? And you kind of know, because you've tapped into their sense of purpose, their sense of no matter what, their sense of whatever they're fighting for, whatever they're going for, whatever they're pursuing is more important than being squeaky clean, than looking perfect, than being right, than keeping certain friends, than other people's opinions. at some point that all fades away and they keep going. And, you know, some of the movies that are popping in my head and characters I was thinking of as I was getting all inspired to come on and do this live stream, I'm like, man, like they didn't sign up to this willing to sacrifice X, Y, and Z. But when push came to shove, their values, their core values were tested and they chose their mission or their goal. And that's when miracles show up. Miracles, it doesn't feel like a miracle if we haven't put everything on the line. And so there's manifestations that happen where they feel really good, but they don't feel like a miracle because they just feel magic. And we didn't have to give up so much, right? Miracles happen when we did everything we could and it didn't make sense and it seemed impossible and yet we kept going. That's the only way it can feel like a miracle. Otherwise, it just feels like if I did A and then B happened as a result of A, it doesn't feel like a miracle. It can still be good. We can still have a win. We can still have reason to celebrate. I'm all for that. But celebrating a win versus celebrating a manifestation versus celebrating a miracle, whole different levels. And so we're going to have all of them on our journey. And the world as a whole is adjusting right now to the way I used to win. I'm not really sure how to keep doing it that way. You have to find a new way to win. We're also going to be finding new ways to tap into manifesting and collaborating and connecting. We're also going to be making a lot more mistakes. There's going to be a lot of room for course correcting. There's going to be room for figuring it out as we go along. And that's okay. And it's the people that keep going that are going to experience the miracles. So wherever you are on your journey today, again, if this lands with you, if someone pops in your head as you've been listening to this and you're like, oh my God, they would totally benefit from this and from this message today. It means the world to me if you guys share with the right people. Don't share just because I'm asking you to, but I am asking you to in case you need that invitation. Even more important than sharing with other people, I invite you to really tap into this message yourself and to get clear on what is the finish line? What is the race you are running? Is it a sprint or is it a marathon? Because miracles happen. The finish line is always a miracle. Always. Whether it's a 5K or whether it's a marathon. The finish line is always a miracle. We get that miracle feeling. But what's required of us to cross the finish line is going to be different. To each of us, we're going to have our own journeys. We're going to have our own plot twists. We're going to have our own skinned knees. We're going to have our own unexpected cheerleaders and unexpected allies along the way. That's all part of a miracle in the making. And so I appreciate those of you that have been on. I appreciate you allowing me into your world. Like, you're watching me on the phone. It's like we're FaceTiming right now. That's how I feel. And Agnieszka says, thank you, Bethany. I needed this today. And thank you for your soothing voice and inspiring message. Aw, that makes me so happy to hear. I'm so glad. You know, it truly is from my heart. And I think it's an important reminder. It's what was inspired for me to share today. And it is truly my intention that you process this in one of two ways. Because here's what I know is true. Either my message today is going to give you a sense of clarity about like, oh my God, this is the race I'm running. And you're going to be like, do I even want to be running this race? Do I even want to cross that finish line? Do I even care if there's a miracle around this? Or do I just not care that much? And that's okay. That's okay. And now you have a sense of choice. If you realize that, I am in this race and the whole course just got like a detour, the world just got a detour, but I'm not giving up. I am going for this, and I might have to adjust, and I might need to check in with myself, and I might need to take an unplanned water break or catch my breath on the side, or I might need to team up with somebody. And like whatever it is you need. But now you can have that even double down on your determination to keep going. You can double down on, I am willing to do whatever it takes. And I trust I'm going to get there. I trust I'm going to achieve exactly the finish line that I am aiming for, even if I have to detour in order to get there, even if I have to take a rest, not take a break, not quit, but take a rest, even if I'm available for miracles to happen in order for me to cross the finish line, and know that miracles happen. It's impossible for a miracle to happen if we haven't already done everything we know how to do, if we haven't already put everything on the line to the certain extent. And I'm not talking about being like irresponsible. I'm talking about being in empowered choice about how we invest our time, money, and energy, right? Like I teach resources are time, money, and energy. So how you're investing your time, how are you investing your money? How are you investing your energy? Making decisions from a place of are you doing the best you can with what you have where you're at? It's not about who's ahead, who's behind in whatever this imaginary race is. It's about knowing that you are being the hero or the heroine in this like movie. Be the leading person in your own story, so that when you look back on this years from now, you can be like, I remember that chapter. And I love how I get to tell this story. The best movies in the world, it's not all, and then she won, and then he won, and then she won, and then he won again, and then everybody lived happily ever after. Like that's the end of most stories, and they don't even actually tell you what happens after the happy ending. Miracles are available to each of us all day, every day. And they show up. The reason that we label them a miracle is because of when they show up. I bet you had a miracle happen today. And you might not have recognized it if you didn't realize that it didn't feel like a miracle because you didn't have everything on the line and you hadn't like crawled through mud and like been through like the emotional and mental warfare to like get there. It doesn't feel like a miracle. It just feels nice. It doesn't make it any less of a miracle. And so when you tap into the miracles that are happening to you, happening to me, happening to us on an everyday basis, I want to clarify, I am not saying that everything happens for a reason, because I know there is a lot of real shit happening in the world right now that like it doesn't make sense. And I know that. What I do know is true, and what I firmly believe is that we can find meaning in anything that happens. Might not have happened for a reason, but it has an impact on us, and that impact we get to decide. We get to choose, what is the meaning I'm going to give this? Is it going to be fuel in your fire, or is it going to be a reason that you quit the race? Is it going to be a reason to fight harder to cross the finish line to your goals and dreams? Is it going to be a reason to live better, to be more in the moment, to be more aware? Or is it going to be a reason to quit? The meaning, the reason comes from the meaning we assign it. And I think there's a lot more miracles happening in your life and in my life than we give credit for. Lisa! Oh my goodness. Hi, Lisa, if you're still here. I got a little distracted. One of my favorite people. I haven't seen her since we went on like our trip to Japan together. Well, maybe I've seen you once or twice since then, but like, so many memories. And that right there was a miracle. That, again, there's miracles when we look for them. And the more you see them, the more you're going to experience them. And the more you experience them, the more you're going to attract them. And the more you attract them, the next level finish lines you're going to cross. And that is my wish for you. So, happy Sunday. I wish miracles in your today, in your tomorrow, in your week, in your life. Thank you for letting me be part of your day today, or whatever day you might be catching me on replay. I am truly, truly glad to be connected to you. Thank you for those of you that have said hi, who have shared, you are the reason I show up online. There is each person. I don't see the number of people watching me. I see the names that pop up. I see the love hearts. I see the faces in my friends list. And I am so grateful for each one of you. And I admire and respect that you are a human on your own journey. And wherever you might be, whether I triggered you, whether I inspired you, or somewhere in between, it's my intention that I added value to your life. That would be the miracle in my day that is out of my control, but I showed up. And I encourage you to keep showing up for yourself in the same way. So, until next time, I love you, and I'll see you soon.